Welcome back to the Healing Trauma Group. This session is session 4A, and it's on the ACE questionnaire and resilience. My name is Felicia Houston, and I'm happy to be with you again. I'm the prevention coordinator and advocate for choices, and I'm looking forward to spending another hour with you. What is the Adverse Childhood Experiences Questionnaire? And it is often referred to as the ACE questionnaire. What is this tool and what is it used for? It is a study of adverse, meaning difficult childhood experiences. And like I said again, it's called the ACE study. This study shows that the types of experiences on the questionnaire that you'll be taking in the next slide can still have profound effects on people 40 to 50 years after the event or the events happen. Before I go to the next slide, I want to give a trigger warning because answering these questions can produce triggers. I will not be leaving you without a grounding tool to bring you back into your body and bring you to an ability to be present. So towards the end of this session with me, you will be having a grounding tool. On the screen is a copy of the ACE questionnaire. At the bottom of the PowerPoint on the community resource page, there will be a PDF of this questionnaire that you can download and print if you would like. If not, just grab a piece of paper so that you can tally up the yeses from this questionnaire. I would like you to take a few minutes to answer yes or no to the questions in this questionnaire in terms of your own life history. If your answer to a question is yes, enter a 1 in the column to the right. If your answer is no, enter nothing. Don't enter anything. Please note that the term household member in some of the questions means someone else in the household when you were growing up. So it doesn't have to be a family member. It can be anyone that was living in your household. I will read the questions aloud and give you time to answer each one. Please total your score once you are finished. So, question 1. Did a parent or other adult in the household often swear at you, insult you, put you down, or humiliate you, or act in a way that made you afraid that you might be physically hurt? If yes, enter 1. Question 2. Did a parent or other adult in the household often push, grab, or slap you, or throw something at you, or ever hit you so hard that you had marks on your body or were injured? If yes, enter 1. Question 3. Did an adult or person at least 5 years older than you ever touch or fondle you, or have you touch his or her body in a sexual way, or tried to, or actually have oral, anal, or vaginal sex with you? If yes, enter 1. Question 4. Did you often feel that no one in your family loved you or thought you were important or special, or your family members didn't look out for one another, feel close to one another, or support one another? If yes, enter 1. Question 5. Did you often feel that you didn't have enough to eat, had to wear dirty clothes, or had no one to protect you, or your parents were too drunk or high to take care of you or take you to the doctor if you needed it? If yes, enter 1. Question 6. Were your parents ever separated or divorced? If yes, enter 1. Question 7. Was your mother or stepmother often pushed, grabbed, or slapped, or had something thrown at her, or sometimes or often kicked, bitten, hit with a fist, or hit with something hard, or ever repeatedly hit over at least a few minutes or threatened with a gun or knife? If yes, enter 1. Question 8. Did you live with anyone who was a problem drinker or alcoholic or who used street drugs? If yes, enter 1. Question 9. Was a household member depressed or mentally ill, or did a household member attempt suicide? If yes, enter 1. Question 10. Did a household member go to prison? If yes, enter 1. At the bottom of the page, enter the total number of yeses that were answered here on this page, and that is your ACE score. Thank you for answering those questions. I know that that may have been a tough thing, but thank you. People who answer yes to 4 or more of the questionnaire items are at risk of having certain physical diseases, mental illnesses, substance abuse issues, employment problems, and arrest and incarcerations, even later in life. And here is a graph that you may want to peruse a little more closely. Low general health, and the blue is if your ACE score is 0. The orange is if your ACE score is 1 to 2. The green is if your ACE score is 3 to 4. And then the purple is ACEs that are greater than 5. So as you look at this graph, low general health, it goes up exponentially from 0 to greater than 5. Smoking goes up greater in the purple area. Drug abuse, wow, it's at 10 and it goes up to almost 60 for drug abuse, with the ACE score being greater than 5. And depression, same issue. Anxiety, same issue. Employment, there's a little bit closer gap between these two. And then arrest and incarceration. And this is later in life. So what happens to us when we're children really does have an impact. What we know also is survivors of trauma can become dependent on alcohol or drugs as a way of managing the effects of this trauma and reducing the stress of living in a violent environment. We tend to numb pain, emotional, physical, and mental pain. Men who abuse substances are at risk of perpetrating violence against women and children. And women who abuse substances are more vulnerable to violence as either perpetrators or victims because of their impaired judgment while drinking or using, and their being in a risky or violent prone situation. So if what happens to us as children affects us and puts us at a higher risk of substance abuse or addiction, it puts men and women in a higher risk of having violence put on them or perpetrating that. It goes up exponentially. And this is the cycle of victimization. So up here is the use of alcohol or drugs, and the purpose of that is to numb our feelings, our pain about what has happened to us as children or what is happening to us in our relationships. And the payoff for that is the numbing and the shutting down of painful feelings. But then as we move over here, it becomes a limited ability to function and deal with stress, which puts us in a situation where we can make really poor choices in relationships and how to deal with stress. It puts us in a place where we may be more vulnerable to victimization or victimizing someone. And then it puts us in a place where when we come to after numbing with alcohol and drugs, figuring out and finding out how we managed a stressful situation, we numb again. And then It shuts down painful feelings, and then we come back to the limited ability to function, and it's just the cycle over and over and over again. The cycle of victimization increases the risk of further victimization as well as to perpetuating and perpetrating abuse. We're going to change gears. What is the meaning of being resilient or resilience? It is the ability to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. It's the ability to recoil or spring back into shape after bending, stretching, or being compressed. And the Latin definition is leaping back. So resilience is very, very important. You wouldn't be here with me discussing these things if you didn't have some form of resilience, if you've been through trauma as a child or trauma in your relationships. Everyone has a space of resilience and the ability to be resilient. I highly recommend this book, The Brain Bible, and it is by John Arden, PhD. John Arden is a neuroscientist who studies the impact of trauma. He has learned that self-care is very important if trauma is a part of our life story. I can attest to that as well, personally, that self-care is a huge part of healing if you have been through trauma. We have a tendency to not care for ourselves because other people have mirrored in our lives, whether that's parents or our relationships with our significant others. They've mirrored that we're worthless. So it's very, very important to change that dynamic on a brain level by choosing to take care of ourselves. Self-care is so healing. He breaks this down, John Arden, and then he breaks it down into categories. So this means, the self-care means eating healthy foods, exercising, getting enough sleep, having friends who are supportive and positive, and learning and using calming techniques to de-stress ourselves as much as possible. And once again, I highly recommend this book. John Arden wrote The Brain Bible. He developed the self-care concept of SEEDS, which is an acronym, and it breaks down this way. The first S in SEEDS stands for social connectivity, being in connection with others. And we are, as humans, social people. We thrive on our relationships with others. So social connectivity is very important. The first E in SEEDS stands for exercise. And it's more movement than anything. 30 minutes a day can make a big difference. So move your body for 30 minutes a day. The second E in SEEDS stands for education. Learn something new each day. This doesn't mean you have to go to college. It's learning something, reading about something that you have been wondering about, learning how to play an instrument, learning a new language. Learn something new each day. The D in SEEDS stands for diet. The food we eat either nourishes us or starves our brain. And the S, the last S in SEEDS, stands for sleep. Our brains and our bodies need rest to regenerate each day. So sleep is very, very, very important. So we're going to break these down and give suggestions as well. So for social connectivity, where do you have social connectivity in your life? Me personally, I feel like that I can talk about that. I have friends that are very dear to me. I have children that I have a wonderful relationship with. So I really try to meet up with these people at least once every 2 weeks or once a month, to have time to be with people that I care about. So that is my suggestion, and that's what I do. But the other suggestions can be to volunteer in your community. You can join a book club, meet your friends or family regularly for a meal. Exercise. What do you do for exercise, or what can you do for exercise? Me, I do yoga on a daily basis. Also, I'm really big on just movement. It doesn't have to be something that I have to plan and prepare for. I really try my best to use doing my daily chores as exercise. So movement's important. So the suggestions are any movement: vacuuming, sweeping, walking the dog, or you can go for a walk. You can go to the gym. Right now, gyms are closed, or do a video. But movement's everything. Use the stairs instead of an elevator. Make errands a form of exercise, walking through the shopping center, or park at the far end of a parking lot so that you have to walk a little further than usual to get into the grocery store. Education. What do you aspire to learn? What are you interested in? I'm an avid reader. Anything that I want to learn about, I do one of two things. I either get a book and read about it, or I will go online and I will go down a rabbit hole and learn as much as I possibly can about it. Some other suggestions would be to take a class in a subject you're interested in. There's a lot of free classes online, and in your community, like Lord Fairfax is here, some classes are free, some are not. But and you can show up in person or virtual. Right now it's virtual because of COVID, but taking a class is part of education. Also, engaging in memory, working memory exercises is important. Crossword puzzles, word finds, learn to play a musical instrument. That really does a lot for the brain and the mind. I am an avid guitarist and singer, so I've really learned a lot from playing guitar and learning new music and songs. You can go to a museum on a regular basis, the art gallery here in town, or other museums. And also, another suggestion is to learn another language. Diet. A lot of people veer away from this one, but it's very important. What nutritional habits do you have or would you like to achieve? What we put into our bodies is what feeds us. And if we're eating trash, our health is going to be trash. Our brain is not going to function properly. So we either feed our brain and body or we starve it. I'm still learning a lot about diet. So some of the suggestions are to consume whole and balanced foods to build a healthy brain and body. That's fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, limit your red protein, your meats, eat fish. Avoid simple carbohydrates, which is your processed food. Stay adequately hydrated. Drinking water is very important. Eat healthy fats, no trans fats, the healthy fats, because that's what feeds your brain. Avoid fried foods and highly processed foods, and moderate your red meat intake. And the last one is sleep. What are your obstacles to getting a good night's sleep? I think nowadays the obstacles are taking our, cell phones into the bedroom with us and watching that, and doing things on the computer and having a television in our bedroom. That can be very big obstacles. Suggestions are don't do anything in bed other than sleep, and in parentheses, or except for sex, but sleep. Don't have a television in there. Don't have your cell phone in there. Also, avoid drinking large quantities of liquid at night so you're not up going to the bathroom. Avoid daytime naps so that you are you're almost tired and looking forward to going to sleep at night. Try relaxation exercises before bed and keep your body temperature low. They are saying, doctors now, that you should keep your bedroom at about 67 to 68 because you sleep better in a colder temperature. Like I said, I'm not going to leave you from this session without a grounding activity, and this is another grounding activity that you can add to your toolbox. This activity is called containment, and as you can see, I have pictures of containers, whether that's a hole in the ground, a box, or a closet, and I want you to think about those. So this grounding activity is designed to help us temporarily set aside some of our issues and concern. When we obsess about certain thoughts or experiences, especially negative ones, it increases our stress. As you become comfortable with this activity, you will discover that it's a quick and effective way to reduce your stress and anxiety. I would like for you, before we start this grounding exercise, I would like for you to please rate your stress level. 0 being a little stressed and 5 being very stressed. And I want you to take note of that or write it down on a piece of paper. So now I want you to sit back in your chair or on your couch or on your bed as you are in front of me at this time. And I would like for you to relax your shoulders, have your feet on the floor, or if you're on your couch and you're comfy, you might be in the Indian position. And I would like for you to close your eyes. And if you're not comfortable closing your eyelids, lower them and move into a soft gaze. I'd like for you to take a deep breath through your nose, feeling your lung bases, making the belly expand and hold, and breathe out through your mouth. I want you to do that again. Take a deep breath through your nose, filling your lung bases, feeling your belly expand, hold, and then breathe out through your nose. I'd like for you to do this 2 more times, getting more relaxed with each breath. So breathe in through your nose, expand your belly, hold, and breathe out. 1 more time. In through your nose, expand your belly, hold, and breathe out. Now, I want you to think of a container of some kind that holds objects. It can be a box, a trash can, an empty room, a safe, or even a hole in the ground. The only requirement for this container is that it needs to have a lid, a door, or a way to seal it. If it is a hole in the ground, you can put your dirt over top of it, but it has to have a way to seal it. Now think about your worries and concerns of your day, whether that was at work, at home with children, driving on a road. But I'd like for you to think about your worries and concerns of the day, or this month, or you can think about a bad memory. I want you to create a list of all the thoughts that you have concerning this event, this day, this week. And I want you to think about the feelings that are bothering you right now concerning the worries, the concerns of the day or the week, or the bad memory. I want you to create a list of that, a mental list, And I would like for you to create that list and hold it in your brain. Include strong negative emotions, thoughts, and or memories. Now I want you to imagine depositing these worries, this list of worries, concern, memories, into your container. Place all these distressing items into a container, knowing that it's just for a brief period of time. It is not to be placed there for forever. It's just for a brief period of time. Close the door, shut the lid, put the cover on your container to seal it all shut. If it is a hole in the ground, put the dirt on it. You can retrieve these items anytime, any place, but for now, they're sealed. Now I would like for you to rate your stress level again, 0 being a little stressed and 5 being very stressed. Do you feel any less anxious or less stressed? This is a tool, like I said, not to put it away forever, but put it away for a time. So if you are busy and you can't deal with your emotions in the moment, this is a quick, easy way and a quick, easy activity of containment to put it somewhere, to hold it until you are home in a safe place where you can process it. This is yet another grounding tool to put in your toolbox to help you feel calmer and more centered. And I want you to remember, the seeds of your self-care will grow. Putting time and effort into you will be the greatest gift that you can give to yourself, your family, and our planet. Thank you for being with me today for session 4A, and I will see you again with session 4B, and that will be on anger. Thank you very much for your time, and I enjoyed being with you.